Okay, everybody, thank you for coming out tonight. I know I'm crazy. I always like to do those precursors before the call and everything. So just to get everybody in the mood and let everybody know we're starting in a few minutes. We've got a lot to cover tonight, so I'm going to go ahead and start right on it. Actually very excited about this call. We're going to go through some of the stuff that Stephen put together, some of the stuff that I put together, and kind of mix them together. And before we get into the PDF, and if anybody doesn't know what that is, I can tell you how to get there and order the book and everything so you can follow along. But you obviously have your screen as well that you can see. We do record all of these, and we've got a series of 14 videos. We put them all in our files section on our Revolution page on Facebook. I've also allowed everybody to unmute yourselves tonight. So when you have questions or comments, please unmute yourself, make those comments and ask those questions, and then go ahead and mute yourselves again. So you should be able to do that. So really quick, with our network, it's very important that we understand what we're offering everybody and the difference between this business opportunity as compared to others. So with this, I just did a lot of research online, and I've had different businesses in the past, and this right here is just a typical business. So when you look at operating expenses, you look at rent, you look at phones and utilities, equipment, fixtures, which you know, as a real estate appraiser, I'm very familiar with what fixtures are. Those are things, for example, if you're a barber and you have chairs to cut people's hair and all that kind of stuff in your building, it's called a fixture. Anything that you're using for business inside of your building that's attached could be a fixture. Those cost money. You've got inventory, you've got leasehold improvements, you've got licenses and tax deposits, marketing budgets, professional services. For example, if you need to hire a CPA or whatever, payroll, insurance, you've got to pay insurance on your employees, you've got to do all sorts of different things. It's very expensive typically to start your own business. There's a lot of overhead. What I love about what we're doing, our hard cost is something that you're going to pay every single month. So there's different types of costs. You can learn what those are. But our hard cost is $38 a month. Soon to be $49.95 after January 14th or whatever, but right now it's $38 a month. There's a lot of ways to make that hard cost go away. We know in the compensation plan, and I'm not going to go through the compensation plan tonight, but with the compensation plan, you get 3 people, and with no time limit, you get 3 people and you'll make $50 a month, plus the $2 a month you make on each individual person. So you could be actually operating in the black just by showing 3 people how they can save money. That's literally all you have to do. But even before then, you can actually write off over $50 in expenses every month and pay less in taxes. Go out, become a business owner, create an LLC, learn how to do that if you don't know how. Speak with a CPA, an accountant, or whatever. Learn how to do that. Self-employed people get a lot of write-offs. Do it honestly, do it ethically, of course, and that way you know that you're safe, you're playing fairly, but you can take advantage of a lot of different things. So let's go over some of this stuff. What are you offering? What are you looking for in a business? So obviously you're here on the training classes, so that's step 1. That's awesome. But are you looking for 3 friends who want to participate in a hobby, or are you looking for 3 friends or business partners? What does that mean? Well, if I go and I say, hey, I'm inviting you to become a business partner with me, I'm hoping that the person I invite is expecting me to work with them as a partner and as a business associate, and not just spend it maybe 30 minutes a week or whatever on a hobby. Hobbies are something you do for fun. You necessarily don't make a lot of money. Businesses, you're in it to win it. You're in it to make money. We need to learn how to become self-employed. We need to teach other people how to become self-employed. Now, if they are already self-employed, great. Learn from them, learn from yourself, build each other up. But you're offering a business opportunity literally with a hard cost of $50 a month. That's what you're doing. You're not talking about payroll. You're not talking about rent. You're not talking about the typical business model. And the beautiful thing about this is we're not even selling anything. We're sharing savings. We're creating a worldwide marketplace. I don't know if anybody watched Richard's live today with Dave Dove, but it was excellent. And he talked about how we're creating a marketplace because that's where the world is headed. We'll talk about that here in just a moment. But go and look at the previous things I posted on our Facebook page and see where you can deduct on taxes. You can benefit. You should be able to be in the black immediately, even before you get your 3 people. If you do it correctly, you're immediately in the black on a business. The risk for rNetwork, for me, is 0. It's nothing, because you can easily make that $50 back just on tax deductions. Now, again, I'm not a CPA. I'm not going to give you tax advice or anything like that, but consult one, because I'm telling you right now, it's this is very inexpensive business. That's a very, very inexpensive hard cost. It's awesome. So yes, you can definitely become break even in the black, whatever you want to call it, almost immediately. That's what you're offering people. Now you're offering people a way to earn a substantial income as well. I can tell you right now, myself and a handful of others are already doing pretty darn well in our network, and we're just in pre-launch. Yes, we're already being paid. Yes, corporate's paying us every single week. Yes, what they told us they would do, they're doing. They're delivering promise after promise after promise. Yes, the partners have known. Do you know that the 4 of the 5 creators have known each other since the junior high days? I think that's very important for you to know, because they trust each other. They grew up together. They've known each other for decades. They were very careful when they hand selected the creators, because they needed to trust one another. Trent Walker is the only one that has not known the others for decades and decades, but we all know who Trent is now. And he's got a remarkable and impeccable past and resume. His resume is amazing. In fact, all their resumes are amazing. You can trust this company. You can be proud to present this to other people, knowing that these guys absolutely do know what they're doing. You can go to people and look them right in the eye and say, look, I'm offering you something where I don't see where you can lose. You can eliminate their fear of loss almost immediately, because their hard cost is $50 a month. That's it. So you start ahead of the game and not behind before you even save a dime on our perks and everything else. Our auto, our mobile, our travel, our this and that. Our travel is worldwide. Our perks and our travel is in Canada, US. I believe our perks is also in Australia. You can correct me if I'm wrong. And there'll be more and more things rolling out as this builds. We're in a pre-launch. That's what we need to understand. We're in a pre-launch. Other things will be rolling out. Richard alluded to the bank today. The bank is very close. Once that rolls out, we all know we can onboard people into the bank. They're making the rPerks program available to onboard people, local people, into the banks. And it's phenomenal what you can do. If you're struggling getting 3 individuals, get 3 businesses when that happens, but get yourself ready. Now let's compare it to other online options that are out there right now. We've got a lot of crypto games, I can tell you that. You know, buy this, buy Bitcoin, buy Litecoin, buy Ethereum, buy this and this and this, and join my matrix. But as soon as people stop paying into those, the money slows down. It slows down. And a lot of us end up getting burned. That's not something I want to present to friends and family. The traditional product-driven MLM. You really want to be caught up in a situation where you're being asked to sell overpriced products and services. And honestly, seriously, be honest with yourself. They are overpriced. I don't care what people say. They're overpriced. Because you are literally one Google search away from potentially losing clients and distributors, because they're tired of paying the $200 a month auto ship or whatever that product's going for. They can swear up and down by it, but honestly, at the end of the day, sustainable businesses need to keep a happy clientele, happy customers, not just distributors. You need happy customers. That's why we have fans. That's why we don't have a large hard cost. That's why people can save more than they pay almost immediately with what we have. It's all about retention. It is all about retention. If you cannot retain your clients or customers, you cannot create a sustainable business, period. End of story. So if you're already starting out where your products are overpriced and somebody can go to Amazon and buy the thing for less money, they can go to Walmart, Costco, name one retailer after another. Do you really want to put yourself in a position where you have to go and compete against the world's large retailers where they have the ability to purchase in bulk so they can sell things more inexpensively? Or would you rather go to a friend or family member or colleague or whoever and say, look, just like these guys are buying in bulk so they can present pricing to you that's more than reasonable, would you like to lock arms with us where we're taking customers to people like them in bulk so we can demand better pricing? It's the same thing, just different. Instead of purchasing power, we have marketing power, advertising power. Companies are constantly looking for inexpensive ways for customer acquisition. You don't believe me? Google it. I love saying that. Just Google it. Customer acquisition, they spend millions and millions and millions of dollars on customer acquisition. We're giving them customers for free. So in turn, they say, okay, great, that's amazing. We'll give you a discount. I cannot tell you how many conversations I've had with small businesses, medium-sized businesses, and corporates, spoken with large businesses. We're bringing them customers. That is an awesome business model. And I can tell you right now, what Amazon can't do is what we're going to do. Think about this. Amazon, you log in, you see what's in their marketplace. They've created this large marketplace, but they're not going door to door and handshake to handshake and eyeball to eyeball the way we are with our small business owners. And I'm telling you right now, they're strangling a lot of small business owners. Not only are we building this amazing marketplace, which is where the world's really headed, but we have an opportunity to save small business owners that are getting just crushed by these huge retailers. They really are. I've been a small business owner. I've had brick and mortar. It's tough. It's not easy. It's not easy competing against the big guys. Talked about tax breaks earlier. Think of what kind of tax breaks some of these big companies got or they get. We're reading about Amazon now paying taxes and they made billions or trillions of dollars. These guys get so many different breaks and everything, it's not even funny. How do you compete against that? You compete against that by bringing them customers through our network. Through word of mouth, eyeball to eyeball, handshake to handshake, old school. That's how you compete. We can go out and save companies and earn money while we're doing that. It's so refreshing. It is amazing. So think about where the world's headed right now. The marketplaces such as Uber, Lyft, Amazon, Alibaba, Sam's Club, Costco, all sorts of different things. Now look at what we're doing. All these places, again, they can offer you these products that are more inexpensive because they can buy in bulk. What does that do for the drop shipper, for the small guys that are selling in such places? It's tough. Or, if I go create my own online store and somebody Googles my item and then they find something on Amazon for 20% cheaper, which one are they going to buy? They're going to buy the cheaper item in most cases. So what are we doing? Many discounted items all in one place is what they have. Well, guess what? So do we. Our auto, our mortgage, our med, our travel, our perks, our mobile, with many, many R products coming. We're in a pre-launch and look what we've already accomplished. Be proud of what you're going to your colleagues with. Be proud of it. Because honestly, in many cases, you could be saving these people. You really could, especially the small businesses. But even before that, there's people that are dying on the vine looking for additional ways to earn an income. What better to go and help somebody save money on items they normally purchase, reduce their expenses, and give them a golden opportunity to plug into a massive marketplace that we're building to earn an income. It's amazing. Now, regarding our auto, but John, no one will ever buy a car that they can't test drive first. Really? Really? Did I just hear that? I've heard that many times. Welcome to Carvana. Research Carvana. Over 100,000 cars sold in 2018 that were not test driven first. I actually have a cousin. He owns Auto Barn in Newnan, Georgia. He's one of the top sales guys in Georgia as far as one of the top auto places in Noonan. He sells over 100 cars a month at 2 separate locations, 100 plus each location. No showroom, none. 100% of his sales are online. He came outside, he was kind of giggling, he was so happy about it. I said, John, I don't even have to deal. You know, customers hate dealing with us, and guess what? I don't have to deal with people saying, well, maybe I want this, maybe I don't. They see the vehicle online, they like it, they order it, they come and they pick it up. That's where the world's headed, is convenience, it's simplicity, it's ease, because the world's getting smaller because of the internet and the way people are shopping nowadays. It just is. So our concierge services, they're amazing. They're amazing. Now think about what we're doing with the free fans. Fans, to be able to go back to the traditional MLM, sign people up for free, allow them to save money and get paid when they do our auto, our this, or that, or all these different things. Fans are going to be hooked when they save a little bit of money, and then they may think, oh my gosh, I can do this. So when you think about what we're doing, this is, to me, in my mind, this is the greatest thing that's ever happened. This is by far the greatest business opportunity I've ever seen in my life, and I've seen a lot of them. I've been an entrepreneur for over 23, 24 years. Over half my life, I've been self-employed. I've never seen anything like this. We shop for people. We leverage our network. We're using our network to go demand better pricing. Think about it as a health insurance plan. When you have group plans, what was more expensive, a group plan or an individual plan? Group plans are more inexpensive. Why? Customer acquisition, the same thing. Understand not just this business, but understand how business works. Understand how people think and business owners think. They all need customers. They all need clients. So when you're offering them the ability to bring on customers for free, that's powerful. That's powerful. And then when you're turning around, you're offering your friends, family, whoever, business partners, whoever they may be, you're offering them the ability to make money when people save money. With a hard cost of $50, you get 3 people in, it's free. That's powerful. That's powerful. That's retention. That's an excellent, excellent just opportunity for anybody. So don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid of what we're doing, because it's amazing. So let's do this. Since I'm talking about fear, let's talk about fear. That's the next thing we're going to talk about right here. Let me go into the slide over here. Fear. Why don't people like to commit? There are numerous reasons why people don't like to commit. So how to eliminate fear and anxiety. There are 3 meanings of fear, and I'll go through them, and then I'm going to allow people to unmute themselves and chime in. Number 1 meaning of fear, and these are really cool because it's FEAR. False evidence appearing real. Allowing it to stop you. I listened to Steven's video this morning, and he was talking about dogs and things of that, and how people are afraid of these dogs, but they were never bitten by one. Their family member had never been bitten by one. They had a false evidence appearing real. They had a false fear. What about, I don't know, you can think of a lot of different things. You know, a fear of failure, fear of all sorts of different things in your life. There's a lot of different examples, but a lot of it's false, because then you do it. What if you're afraid to learn to swim, and then you learn how to do it? You're afraid of the water, and then you think, oh wow, it's not that big of a deal. It's in your head. Most of it's in your head. You got to get it out of your head, and you got to learn to overcome that fear. Fear is a great thing. I can tell you right now, fear is one of the greatest gifts God ever gave us, because if we don't learn how to overcome fear, we can't better ourselves. But once we do overcome fear, we can conquer the world. We can do anything. Fear is a good thing. That's a great motivator. It is an absolute amazing motivator. Forget everything and run.
John, you have internet problems.
Okay, is that better now? So forget everything and run. Or?
Yes, I believe it is.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Then face everything and rise. That's what I decided to do. Face everything and rise. Be relentless in your pursuit. But it's very important to be confident in what we're sharing with everybody, because we have something that's amazing. So let's do this. Which one are you going to choose to live by? The process to eliminate the fear in your life. So out of these right here, recognize that you have fear that's keeping you back. Be willing to be humble and transparent so you can get help and to overcome them. Confess your fears. Use real words. Be as detailed as you can. The root cause. What are you going to choose to do? So let's do this. Go ahead and feel free to unmute yourselves one at a time. I would like to hear from you guys your fears. What are you afraid of, and why are you afraid of it? Go ahead if anybody, and it can apply to business, RNetwork, or whatever, anything.
John?
Yes.
Hi, John. Jim Corbett, thank you. I didn't want to, I had another question. I wanted to write down the 3 meanings of fear, and you were breaking in and out. And I don't know if anybody else heard it, but we couldn't hear the 3 meanings of fear. I wanted to write them down. Could you go over that real quick again?
Yes. So false evidence appearing real. False evidence appearing real, number 1. Number 2, forget everything and run. Number 3, face everything and rise. Those are the 3. Awesome. So hopefully you got that. And then, so if anybody wants to share anything that they're afraid of, and why are you afraid of this?
Hi, this is Linda Sheldon.
How are you doing?
Hi, I'm brand new, just signed up a couple hours ago. My biggest fear is approaching people and asking for money.
Okay, and we're going to talk about that. So yeah, that's a lot of our fears. Closing the sale, asking for the money. And so it's when we go back to how we present this to people, if you can show them an immediate benefit, and you can say, you know, I interview, and feel free to listen to the previous 2 classes we did, because we talk a lot about this, the approach, and we're going to talk more about this as these classes go on, especially the next one. But if you understand what rNetwork is, which I believe you do, you can show them the immediate benefit. I interview people a lot. What do you typically spend money on? What phone service are you using? What you know, are you in the market for an automobile? You know, with medications, you know, what are the costs? Things are just anything, you know. Do you eat out a lot? Do you go bowling? Do you watch movies? It's so imperative to learn everything that we offer on the discount side of things. So if you can go in there,
hey,
and
John, you're breaking up again.
So if your approach is different, as far as sharing the benefits with them before asking for the close, that's a whole different, and it should help eliminate that fear, because you've shown them that you can save them more than they pay. And if you can show them that first, that kind of helps eliminate or dwindle that fear a little bit. Because now, one thing I've done with people, and I know people in this class have heard me say this before, is I'll go in there and I'll just talk about the savings, and I'll interview them, and then I'll say, if I can show you how you can save more than $50 a month, then will you entertain a conversation with me explaining how I'm in a business that's costing me $50 a month and I earn money when you save. But let me show you how you can save first before we have that conversation. Would that be an easier approach, softer approach, as far as less scary?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And with rNetwork, you can do that. That's what's so amazing about it. With rNetwork, you can completely do that. We're not selling lotions, potions, powders, and pills. And that's what I love about this. This attracts a lot of different people. But great example. Thank you for sharing that. Any other example of fear? You know, I can tell you one, that this one has nothing to do with rNetwork. I was a big time wrestler in high school. I was really into athletics and everything, and had won a couple state championships and everything. And then I moved again, ended up dating in high school, which I don't recommend, but I did. And I had fear of losing my girlfriend. So the last year, instead of competing for another championship, I quit the wrestling team to spend more time with her. That was a fear. And now I go back in my life and I'm thinking, why did I do that? Because we broke up anyway. We didn't even end up together. And there was an opportunity that I gave up because I had that fear of loss. If you can think about any company that you've lost out on because of fear, I was number 8 in an organization years and years ago. And back then I kind of disliked MLM and I was a little afraid of MLM, to be honest. And I was an 8th person in the company, number 8. They grew to over 3 million people and they're still around. I would have made a fortune had I stayed. It was fear that stopped me from doing it. So let's talk about the fear disguises you use. So if you have the things printed out, if not, don't worry about it. But think of it, just pick 3 or 4 off of this list. Are you too busy? I don't have enough the money. Let's talk about I don't have the money. If you don't have the money, let's help you save first to find that $50. Let's help you save first to find more than $50. Let's help you find the money, then turn around and start your business. That should be an easy one to eliminate. I don't know how to. That's why we're having these classes. Learn it. I was not amazing with a lot of things I've done. I've gotten to the level of sales where I feel a lot more comfortable. My passion comes out. My closing percentage is really, really high, but it wasn't like that the first day I started. I had to get better. So the fact that you guys are on this class, I absolutely love it because it means you want to get better. I absolutely love that. I want to think about it. I can't because what's the saying? If you say you can't, you can't. If you say you can, you can. If you say you can't, there's no way. Once it's in your mind, you're right, you can't. You're right either way. You're right if you say you can't, and you're right if you say you can. It is a choice what we do. I remember years ago, I spoke with my uncle. He's a CPA, and he's had a ton of success in business. And he told me, he said, John, if you can learn how to pivot, and back in the day, I was building a great appraisal business. But then the market crashed on me. And I went and I worked with him for a while, and I helped his company and helped train their sales team and everything. And he just said, if you can learn to pivot and adjust and eliminate fear in your life, you can accomplish anything. So the same skills that it took you to build that appraisal business, you can use those same skills to help me build this business with the medical collections that I helped them build. And I did. I utilized the same skills and I picked up additional skills. But I put myself out there. I pushed myself. I refused to lose. I say that all the time. Absolutely refuse to lose, and you won't lose. And you got to sacrifice a little bit of time and things of that sort, but you got to push yourself. Wake up every morning and tell yourself this: I will make today better than yesterday and tomorrow better than today, and live by that. Live by that. So any other fear disguises that you guys can think of that's not on the list above? Can you think of anything else? If not, how about this one? It takes too long. I'm afraid to travel. What if I have to go out? I'm afraid to present. I'm afraid to talk to people. I'm afraid to open my mouth. I'm afraid to ask for the close. I'm not a natural born salesperson. I need better tools. Corporate doesn't give me enough stuff to learn. All that kind of stuff. Those are excuses. Those are fear disguises that people use, and what they're doing is they're making it harder for themselves to find success. What did I do when we first launched on May 9th? We had the soft launch, correct? Did we have a beautiful working website? Corporate just put the website up a few days ago, just added to it. What did I do on day one? I started a Facebook page. And I went and I started with 5 people on that Facebook page. There's now over 6,000 people and growing every day on that page. I wasn't waiting for corporate. I wasn't waiting for anybody. I refused to have those fear disguises. I said, forget this. I know what the core of our network is. I believe in the core of our network. So I'm going to go build it. With whatever tools are available to me at that time, I will build it. And I knew it would get better and better, and it has. And that's the attitude we all have to take. So by having these fears, what do they prevent me from achieving? So if you've ever missed out on a business opportunity in your life, or you've allowed fear to get in your way, what has it cost you? What does it cost you? Go ahead and unmute yourselves and answer that question. What has fear cost you in the past? If anybody wants to share.
It has cost me a lot of money and opportunity.
Mm-hmm. Yep. No, that's a great one. Anybody else?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Basically, from being the man I want to be.
Awesome. I love that one. From being the man I want to be. That's a great one. Good. Thanks for sharing it. Anybody else? Take one more.
Hey, John, it's Moses.
Yes.
Fear is actually prevented me to move forward with things.
Perfect. Awesome. So I wrote down a few things. It could cost you from an early retirement, more comfortable lifestyle, college tuition for your kids, have your own home, your own schedule. Can you imagine? They always talk about passive income. We've heard that word, passive income. What in the world is passive income? I've never believed so wholeheartedly that I believe now in passive income until our network came around. Because in most MLMs, passive income, I would see people just work their fingers to the bone, build incomes only to watch their distributorship just become annihilated because of the auto ship. They weren't saving more than they were paying. It was a flawed, broken model. We've probably all been part of those models. And I've discussed those models in great detail, so I won't get into it too much. But this model, where we're following where the world is headed into the marketplace, and we can compete the big guys with this. In fact, some of the big guys are coming to us to help them. We're locking arms with the big guys, the little guys, and the guys in between, because every business out there, every retailer out there, every service business out there, they all have one thing in common. They all need customers. Every single one of them. And we're helping bring them customers. Think about how big this is going to get. Think of how big it's already gotten. And your retention will just minimize more and more and more. As a bank rolls out, we get paid on the swipes. We help B2B, the business-to-business play. All this kind of stuff comes out. Retention will get higher and higher, and attrition will drop. And all we're doing is following the trend of where the world's headed and getting there first. What our network is providing us is phenomenal. So we've got to know that. And as we go through these courses, the reason we're talking, this is the last course that we're going to talk about bettering ourselves so much. The next course, we're going to go into the 7 money makers, the money-making activities. We're going to really start getting into the meat of this. If you haven't heard the first 2 lessons, go back to the files section in our Facebook page and listen to the first 2 lessons so you can get caught up. And then tomorrow we're going to start the 7 money-making activities. And we're really going to start getting in the meat, but we've got to get our minds right. We've got to get rid of the fear. We've got to know that we do have people in your upline, in this organization, that have built massive teams, that have had successful businesses, that we have been there, we've done that, and we want to share our success with you. So here's the last question. Anybody wants to answer this, and we'll move on. How does holding on to my fear or fears make me feel?
Hi, John. This is Cheryl from Houston.
Hey, Cheryl.
Hi. I wrote down 2 things. It makes me feel frustrated because I can't go anywhere, especially with my personal growth. And then it also like a low self-esteem because I haven't been successful, and it's because of fear.
Because of fear, exactly. And so here's my question to everyone here: are we afraid to save more than $50 a month? Not spend 50. Are we afraid to save more than $50 a month? Think about that for a moment. So that's your business. Your business is making money by helping others save. So if we become a byproduct of the product and we use the product and we save and we show, I mentioned that in the first or second class. I said, look, they don't care about my testimonial. They don't care what John Johnson did. They don't care if I save money on a truck. I mean, some may. They don't care if I save money on a hotel or this, because I'm not the one speaking with them. I'm not the one presenting this to them. When they're talking to you one-on-one, they're going to ask you, what have you saved? What have you done? Because if that's the credibility they need, that's the stamp of approval right there. They're asking you. If you are not afraid to save more than $50 a month, you should have no fear helping others do the same. Think about it that way. It's a mindset. Don't be afraid of, don't say, hey, I'm afraid of paying. I'm afraid of saving. Use that mindset. And then convince yourself, wow, that's not so bad. That's not so hard or difficult. I can do that. And help the people understand what this is. Go back. Again, what is Amazon doing? They're offering prices, low prices, because they're bulk buyers. I sold t-shirts years and years ago. I remember I went and I spoke. I was 18 years old. Talk about fear. I set up an appointment with a regional buyer at Walmart at 18 years old. And I thought, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. I was scared to death. I was. And then I went in there and I had a really great meeting. And the guy was looking at me and he had been buying for Walmart for well over a decade. And he said, you know, I love your shirts. They're funny. They're clever. I love them. So, yeah, I'm interested in buying them. And I thought, oh, wow, this is fantastic. Then his next question to me was this. All right, when can I see your warehouse? And I want to see at least $2 million of inventory. That's what he said. And I'm thinking, well, I've got my parents' basement and about $200 of inventory. I wasn't ready. But you know what? I don't care. I don't care that he told me no. Because then I learned what it would take to sell to Walmart. If I want to do it, then, you know what? I got to start small. I got to go to, you know, Spencer's or all these other different places first, sell it, and then build it up. But just by taking that meeting, even though he said no, it was awesome. Because I was scared to death to talk to him in the first place, but I faced my fear. I can tell you right now, I'm not afraid to talk to anybody. I served a mission years and years ago. I spent 2 years away from home. And I knocked on door after door after door. About 7 to 8 hours a day, I just knocked on everybody's door. And I would talk to this person, that person, all these different areas. Talk about being a little intimidated and scary. And I was trying to share a message that most people didn't want to hear. And I would just knock on door and door. But the more doors I knocked, the less afraid I became. I faced my fear, and then I got really good at it. Then I went and I sold office furniture over the phone to people who couldn't see the furniture before they bought it. But it was my job. So I did it. I faced my fear. Now I'm not afraid to cold call anybody. I'm not afraid to talk to a single person. But at first I was, but it's not that big of a deal after you do it so many times. Fear does diminish. It does go away. So do not allow your fear to hold you back. Just don't. Just refuse to allow it to hold you back, because it's not, many times it's not that big of a deal. Now, at first you may, public speaking, there's a good one. Who's afraid of public speaking? A lot of people are afraid of public speaking. Then they do it a little bit, they start with a small presentation, a couple more of those, a medium presentation, a big presentation, and slowly you can eliminate your fear of public speaking. Fear is the most costly of all the human emotions, even though most fears have no foundation in fact. They're false fears. They're in your head. Practice, practice, practice. What did we say last time? Practice. Practice makes permanent. Doesn't make perfect. Nobody's perfect. Practice makes permanent. The way we practice is the way we perform. Practice on people, even if they told you no, practice on them. Practice on your spouse. Practice on your sons and daughters. Practice your pitch. Practice your presentation. Practice this. Practice that. And then slowly eliminate your fear. But I'm telling you, go save a bunch of money too. Use the products and services and share it with people. A lot less intimidating than trying to sell anything to anybody. Most people hate to sell stuff, and most people hate to be pitched. Go back and listen to the 2 former classes we have and learn about some of the pitches I've done and ways to, eliminate your fear, and also not only that, but how to diffuse arguments, diffuse when people come up with different concerns and things like that. We talked a lot about that in the last class, diffusing the argument. So major business opportunities. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say I could relate to that last comment you were talking about just doing it. Like I had a ton of fears when I was younger. I actually was extremely dyslexic in school and was a straight E student. So I knew all about fears, and it wasn't actually, I never learned to read in school. It wasn't until I was 22 years old that I asked somebody to pray for me. And I went home and read a book from cover to cover. But since that time, I started conquering the fears. And fear comes from a lack of knowledge, right? People are afraid of the dark because they don't know what's in there. But the best way to conquer it is to get in there and find out what's there, So I've had that experience over and over again in my life where I've just gone after things. And there's an old saying, it says, if you haven't failed, you haven't tried hard enough, And you are going to fail. You're going to make some mistakes, but you got to give yourself permission to make mistakes. Just get out there and do it, And guess what? You're going to learn something, and then the next time it's going to be easier, and it's going to be easier the next time, and the next time. Just keep on going forward. I actually pastor a church now, and I'm public speaking all the time. So it just shows you what you can do if you just keep conquering those fears,
No, you're absolutely right. And I can tell you right now, if you've never failed, you've never succeeded either. Think about that. If you've never failed, you've never succeeded. Because nobody went and built the perfect business on day one. It's never happened. Never happened.
We always say, the only thing constant is change. And the only way you have growth is through change. And the only way you can do that is do something different. So, we've got to get those things kind of in the mix. So we're always getting out there, doing something different, and then we can grow, right?
Yep, absolutely. No, absolutely. And again, that's why, I don't want to talk about the generating leads and the closing prospects and all that until we had these types of discussions first. Because the first step in building your own business and reaching success is getting in your head that you can do it. Because if you don't believe you can do it, then you go out and get 20 prospects. How many of those prospects will you close? How effective will you be in following up? How effective will your presentation be? If they sense your fear, they will eat you alive. Okay, they will. It's like piranhas. They'll eat you alive. I'm telling you, can't allow them to sense your fear. I can tell you, I'd say the majority of the people on my team that signed up with me because I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid. I've had this conversation, I can't tell you how many times. John, I want to work on your team because I feel that you'll help me build. I can tell you're serious about this. We talked about being competent, confident, and consistent. If you're all 3 of those things in the 4 stages, and again, go back and listen to previous classes on those 4 stages. How do you get from stage 1 to stage 4? We've all missed business opportunities in the past. I know I have. We all have, because back then I wasn't ready. I had fear. I allowed something to stop me. But then I think about it now and I'm thinking, what was I thinking back then? A lot of us could be retired right now. A lot of us could be. And again, tie it back to what we're offering people. Hey, I'd like to save you some money. Oh, and also, allow you to make money while you help other people save money. That's what I'm offering you. That is an amazing thing to offer somebody. So don't be afraid of, embrace that. That is an amazing thing to offer. Worst case scenario, what do they do? They save money and they have a little less stress. As long as they spend their savings wisely, I guess. They don't go out and gamble with it or something. But as long as they're responsible with that, if you can eliminate somebody's spending monthly out, what they put out every month, what they spend every month, and eliminate that, you can change a lot of lives just by that, even if they don't have their 3 people. They're saving a bunch of money on stuff they normally spend money on. That is phenomenal. And the cool thing is it's just going to get better and better and bigger and bigger. Where do you think about this? Are you going to allow fear to hold you back from rNetwork? Where's rNetwork going to be in a year from now? Heck, 6 months from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now? Do you believe, like I believe, that rNetwork is the next big one? I believe that rNetwork is not only the next big one, I believe rNetwork could become the largest network opportunity ever. You got to think about the banks, the small businesses, all that stuff that's coming with this in this marketplace that we're creating, and we're flipping network marketing on its head. We really are. It can change the way banking's done. There's so many different things that rNetwork's going to do. And the cool thing is, think of the people behind it. People like Trent Walker and his resume, and Roger and his, and Kevin and his, and all these gentlemen. They've been there, they've done that. We have amazing leaders. So ask yourself this question: what is your total dollar amount that your fair has cost you? It's cost us a lot. The difference between successful people and non-successful people can be summed up in one word: mindset. It's their mindset. That's why we started the 3 classes, first 3 hours of classes, talking about our mindset and eliminating fear and getting ourselves mentally prepared and ready for the push. Then we're going to go into the generating leads, how you do it, all that kind of stuff. That's how this class is going to work. We've got to get everybody to eliminate their fear and help you do it. That's what you do. So here's something that's really interesting, and I love your feedback on this one. Write down all of the people who did not benefit because you could not help them, because you didn't have the money, because you chose to live by fear. Have you ever think about that? There's always 2 sides to everything. There's always consequences. There's always rewards. But what you choose to do today will affect what happens to you tomorrow. That's true with every single human being on this planet. What you choose to do today will affect what happens to you tomorrow. And it will. I always told myself years ago, I don't care what I do today, but I'm going to be productive today. I will be productive. In whatever business I was doing, whatever I was working on, I will be productive today, because that will affect my outcome tomorrow. And you've got to live by that. Give up a TV show every once in a while. Give up stuff. Learn to be better. Get yourself to the point where you just put fear in your rearview mirror and just allow yourself to be free. And it's amazing what you can accomplish. What does rNetwork owe us? Is easy: an opportunity. Have they given us one? Heck yeah, they have. An amazing opportunity. And it's, again, it's just going to get better and better and better. But think about this. All the people who have not benefited, including you, in your life because of fear. And just say, you know what, to heck with it. Fear, be gone. And just work on it, work on it. Make that decision right now to overcome that fear. Because once fear is gone, it becomes fun. It really does. Live by faith. Believe in yourself. We all wake up in the morning and we get up and we get ready for the day. We bathe, we shower, we eat. I'm no different than you. You're no different than me. So why in the world am I the one guy in our network with the largest team right now? I don't live by fear. I threw myself into this. I'm out there. I'm all over the place because I decided that's who I would become. Now I want to help everybody come up to that level. I want you guys to pass me. I want you guys to be as successful as you can. Richard does, we all do. When you slice and dice what we're doing, what are we really doing? Okay, save more than you pay. We know that. Help people make money along the way when we do that. We just acquired banks, a whole bunch of banks. We need to fill banks with people. Yeah, this conversation with people say, look, we got to fill people with banks. So we need to give you incentive to become a member of our bank. I'm not selling you a flippin' lotion. I'm not telling you what we do cures cancer. I'm not competing against Walmart and Amazon. Are you nuts? Why would I want to compete against those guys? That's crazy. I don't want to do that. That's too hard. Now, I guess I'm making excuses, but I'm saying this is a better opportunity. Recognize when you have discussions with people and they want you to sell their magical juice, and you say, well, why? Why would I want to do that? When you're one Google search away from losing your customers. Don't tell me you're not. And I promise you, 97% of the people that are trying to sell you that, guess how much money they're making in their online business? We know what the numbers are. 1 to 3% of the people make it. 97% of the people sharing that opportunity are not even making money in it. In fact, they're probably losing money. You've got to know that. Now, I'm not going to go and argue with them and say, hey, you're losing money, da da da. What I would say is this, you know what? I appreciate you mentioning this to me. I appreciate you coming to me with this. And you're working so hard. I see you out there on social media. Man, you are busting your butt. You know what? You may want to take a look at this because I think it's a little easier road than what you're traveling down right now. And why do I believe that? Well, because we don't have to sell anything. Go back to the beginning of this training. Why do I believe that? Because you got to share savings. You got to save money. And you're going to create a marketplace with this, which is where the world's going. Richard mentioned today, back in the 80s, it was the people that were writing code. The dot-coms in the 90s. Now it's the world is a giant marketplace because everything's at our fingertips. You can be price shopped with the blink of an eye, just like that. Do you want to compete against large retailers, or do you want to share and help retailers bring in customers? Free customer acquisition. You choose which road do you want to take. You're busting your butt for this other thing. Why? Let's lock arms and let's build this one together. It's a simpler road. It's an easier road. But the more you learn about our network and what our network offers people, the more confident you will have in that statement when you make it to the people that talk to you about their opportunities, or when you talk to someone else or whatever. Learn this business inside and out, and I promise you it will change your life. It really will. It's changed mine. It's given me a whole new energy. I got burned out with what I was doing before. Just got burned out. I was making money in it, but I got burned out. This, man, is a whole new life. I'm telling you, I'm happier now than I've been in a long time. So know this, you are your number one product. You will perform exactly how you see yourself. So thank you when you say, you know what, I've had self-doubt, I've had fear, I've had that. But if you see yourself doubting yourself, you will always doubt yourself. I can tell you right now, and I don't really normally get religious, but we're all sons and daughters of the same deity, the same God. We're all in this thing together. We're all on the earth for a purpose. I am no better than you. You are no better than me. We're one, we're same, we're brothers, we're sisters, we're family, whatever you want to call it. We're the same. It's a mindset. You conquer that fear, you can conquer the world. You really can. Nobody's smart. There's probably people on this phone right now, on this call, a lot smarter than me, probably a lot smarter with books. You know, I went to college for 2 years and I left. I thought, man, college isn't for me because I refused. I'm like, what am I doing? I don't want to go work for a corporation for the next 20, 30, 40 years and hopefully retire and get a watch. I don't want that. I want to go out and do something. I want to go bust my butt and get a degree from the School of Hard Knocks. I want to go fail so I can learn how to have success. And that's what I did. I've been self-employed for over 2 decades and I've never looked back. I will never go back. ever. It's not who I am. But I had to make that choice when I was younger. I'm inviting everybody in here to make that choice, and with this amazing platform. So what are the 7 money-making activities? We're going to talk about these next time, and we're really going to get into these. But again, if you haven't heard all 3 classes, go back and listen to all 3 if you can before tomorrow night to get caught up in our file section on our team Facebook page. But number 1, generating leads. Number 2, converting leads into prospects. Number 3, know how to invite people. You know, the person who invites the people to the most calls, the person who invites the people to the most events, the most trainings, will be the person who makes the most money in our network. I'm telling you, we can help sell it for you. Just get them, and we're going to teach you how to get them here to listen to us. How to make an effective presentation. Number 4. Number 5, how to follow up, close, and ask for the money. We'll talk about asking for the money. Number 6, how to start your own new member, how to get your own new member started correctly. Plug them into a system. Number 7, how to plug them into your training system, which is this right here. You want to duplicate your downline, you want to duplicate your team, get them on these training calls. Because some of them are moving slow because of fear, because of anxiety, because of things of that sort. Allow them to go through these trainings. And if you choose down the road not to do our network, well, guess what? You may have learned something in these 14 classes we do, and maybe you have more success in your next venture. I doubt that'll happen because you won't leave our network. Why? Why would you? We can all become better. We all have to be humble and know that, hey, we can be better human beings. We can be better people. We can be better salespeople. We can be better presenters, whatever it may be. But the only way that's going to happen is if we allow ourselves to fail, get rid of fear, and move on. That's it. So tomorrow night, everybody, we will talk about that. We'll talk about those 7 different money-making activities, how we get people out to the meetings, all that kind of stuff. We're going to start getting into the meat. I'm excited about it. I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. Hopefully this was helpful. And again, be confident in our network. So I'm telling you, I'm confident in you guys. I'm confident in this team. I absolutely love this team. My favorite thing about this entire business is the people in it. Absolutely having a blast. You can have a blast too. Get rid of the fear and start the fun. Everybody, good night. We will talk to you next time.